Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, 22-year-old is sentenced to life for fatal stabbing at a Lakespend construction site. A 22-year-old man who pleaded guilty to fatally stabbing a co-worker at a construction site in Lakespend, St. Catherine, was on Friday sentenced to life imprisonment in the St. Catherine Circuit Court. Kishma Horton was ordered by Justice Yvonne Brown to serve 15 years before being eligible for parole. Horton was charged with the murder of 22-year-old Rayon Mendez of Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Facts are that on October 22, 2023, Horton and Mendez were involved in a fight at the work site. Sometime after the altercation, during a lunch break, Horton stabbed Mendez. Mendez was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Horton was arrested by detectives from the Portmore Criminal Investigation Branch and was subsequently charged with murder. DAWS wants authorities to seize and dispose of chicken from washed-up container in St. Catherine. Opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, is urging the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Ministry of Commerce, and the police to take swift action to seize and safely dispose of chicken products from the wrecked shipping container that washed ashore in Hellshire, St. Catherine. Dawes says action is urgently needed to prevent a further risk to public health. Videos circulating online show several individuals helping themselves to chicken from the container which washed up on the beach on Thursday. Dawes says he is deeply concerned. While it may be tempting as an opportunity to get free food, I strongly urge Jamaicans to exercise extreme caution and refrain from consuming or distributing any of the chicken recovered from this container. Dawes says there are several critical health concerns surrounding the chicken and urged the public not to consume or sell the meat. Safely dispose of it, as eating or distributing it could lead to widespread illness. He is also encouraging persons to be vigilant when making purchases and to ask questions. Ensure the source of the meat is reputable, and if in doubt, do not consume it. The Agriculture Ministry, in a statement earlier today, said it has confirmed that the container fell from a vessel while in transit to the Cayman Islands. It noted too that there have been widespread reports of looting by members of the public. Individuals who may have taken any of the products are strongly advised not to consume or feed it to animals, and they should immediately contact their local public health department for guidance on safe disposal. The public is also urged to report any instances of sale or distribution of these products to the relevant authorities. Man killed at a fish fry in Barrett Town, St. James. One of two men who were shot in Barrett Town, Rosal in St. James on Friday night has died. The incident occurred about 10 p.m. at a fish fry. It is reported that gunmen approached the venue and opened a fire at the patrons. The two wounded men were taken to hospital, where one was pronounced dead. The Barrett Town incident followed an earlier St. James shooting on Friday, in which 7 persons were shot at the intersection of Hart Street and Coronalde Avenue in Montego Bay. 2 of the 7, 28-year-old Exodus Dunkley of Flagstaff and 27-year-old Malik MacDonald, a security guard of Hart Street, have died. 4 other men are being treated for wounds to their lower limbs and another for a wound to the chest. 4 men die in St. Mary crash. 4 men died in a single vehicle crash along the Rio Nueve Main Road in St. Mary Saturday morning. 2 of the deceased have been identified as 23-year-old Brandon Nelson and Kenroy Fung, both of Stewarttown in the parish, while a third was identified as Romario Gray. The driver of the Mercedes-Benz motorcar, 34-year-old Chad Beckford, a carpenter of Stewarttown, died in hospital. Assistant Commissioner Dr. Gary McKenzie, commanding officer for the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, told the news that the incident occurred about 6:40 in the vicinity of the Cool Oasis service station. ACP McKenzie said driver error and speeding were factors which led to the crash, which are indicative of the challenges being faced by road safety stakeholders. This is the second multiple fatality crash that has occurred in the last 48 hours. 2 pedestrians died Friday morning on Sir Florizel Glassbowl Highway in Kingston after they were hit by a motorist.
What we have been able to gather is that a white Benz motorcar was traveling along the road towards Ocherios when the driver attempted to negotiate a right-hand bend at a very fast rate of speed. He was not able to negotiate the corner. Instead, the vehicle went to the left of the roadway, collided with one tree, then went on to collide with 2 other trees. We recognize that this particular crash was as a result of extreme carelessness. A driver who is attempting to make a corner must slow down and approach it in a careful manner and ensure that he or she is able to negotiate it safely so that they will not be in a crash. We have to be much more careful on the roadway and stop giving away our lives in a needless manner.
St. James, a woman arrested for employment scam. A 29-year-old pharmacy technician has been accused of tricking a woman into paying her more than $270,000 to help secure a job in the Cayman Islands, which did not materialize. Kadeen Swaby of Westgate Hills, St. James, has been charged with larceny by trick in relation to the employment scam perpetrated between April 2023 and September 21, 2024. The Montego Bay police say in 2023, Swaby persuaded the complainant that her uncle could guarantee an employment opportunity for her in Cayman. The woman reportedly gave Swaby her passport and $18,000 to initiate the hiring process and then paid $255,000 to secure the position. The woman inquired about the job after some time passed and she was given numerous excuses. The woman then contacted Swaby's uncle via a social media networking platform and was told that he was unaware of the arrangement and that he does not provide employment. After realizing she had been conned, the woman confronted Swaby, who pledged to repay her by September 21, 2024. When a refund was not received, a police report was filed. The accused was detained on March 31 after the complainant pointed her out to the police. She was charged on Thursday. Trade unionist calls for united front in response to Trump tariff. President of the Union of Clerical Administrative and Supervisory Employees, Vincent Morrison, says the union is wary of the possible impact of the trade war brewing on the international scene. The new American tariffs imposed globally took effect on Saturday, with Jamaican exports to the U.S. now subject to a rate of 10%. Mr. Morrison, reacting in an interview with the news, said the situation demands a united front involving all stakeholders, government, unions, private sector, civil society coming together, working together for the development of the country. All these interested groups must sit down and work through some of the issues, he said.
We have 10%, and we have to, again, using the team of our last Congress, or Congress on the 8th of March, where we spoke to the issue of government, unions, private sector, civil society, coming together, working together for the development of the country. That is even more crucial going forward at this time, this approach to a question of participation, the sector sitting down with government and we work into some of the issues.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.